Hello and welcome to section 2.4, which is on deductive reasoning. And deductive reasoning is just the process of reasoning logically from given statements or facts to a conclusion. So you look at the information you've been given and you come up with your conclusion based on those facts. This is something that we do every day, not just in math. And so we have a couple of laws that we're going to use. The first one is the law of detachment. If the hypothesis of a true conditional is true, then the conclusion is true. So my example is, if possible, use the law of detachment to make a conclusion. If not possible to make a conclusion, tell why. So here is my statement down here. If an angle is obtuse, then it is not acute. Okay, so that's my statement, and I need to use the law of detachment. So here is what I'm checking. Angle XYZ is not obtuse. Can I tell for sure that it is not obtuse based on this fact that is given? All this says is it's not obtuse. This says if an angle is obtuse, then it's not acute. Okay, so I can't really make a conclusion here because my hypothesis has not been satisfied. What about right angles? That's what I have right here in parentheses. It could be a right angle because all this says is angle XYZ is not obtuse. That doesn't mean that it's absolutely acute. Okay, so that one, the conclusion is not possible to make based on the facts that are given. I would need more information about the angle. I would need to also know that it was not a right angle. The other law is the law of syllogism. Allows you to state a conclusion from two true conditional statements when the conclusion of one statement is the hypothesis of the other statement. And that's a lot of big wording and it sounds kind of confusing, but once you see the example, hopefully it'll make more sense. So if possible, use the law of syllogism to make a conclusion. So here I have some facts. If an animal is a Florida panther, then its scientific name is Puma concolor cori. Not sure if I said that right, but we'll just pretend I did. And the other statement is, if an animal is a Puma concolor cori, then it's endangered. Okay, so that's what I do know for sure. Those are my facts. Okay, those are my conditional statements that I'm using. So then when I look at down below, I say if an animal is a Florida panther, it is endangered. Okay. Well, that would make sense, right? Because it says if an animal is a Florida panther, its scientific name is this. And then it says if it is this puma, then it is endangered. So therefore, a Florida panther is endangered based on that information. One more example, use the law of detachment and the law of syllogism to make conclusions from the following statements. If it is not possible to make a conclusion, tell why. So here I have some statements. If a mountain is the highest in Alaska, then it's the highest in the United States. If an Alaskan mountain is more than 20,300 feet high, then it's the highest in Alaska. And Alaska's Mount McKinley is 20,320 feet high. So what conclusion, if any, can you make based on that information? They're saying that the highest mountain in Alaska is the highest in the United States, right? That's basically what they're saying right here. If it's more than 20,300 feet, it is the highest in Alaska, and this is more than 20,300 feet, so guess what? Mount McKinley must be the highest mountain in the United States. That is the conclusion right here that you can come up with based on these three statements. And so all of this information, these laws, and being able to use deductive reasoning, this is all going to be put together here in our next section when we start doing the proofs. To be able to prove something, you have to go through your information and logically conclude through a series of steps that something can be proven. And so this is all just getting us ready to do that. So bring this information with you, and we'll talk about it more the next time I see you. Have a good night.